is the law of assumption. This law teaches us that what we assume to be true is what will manifest in our lives. In other words, our assumptions shape our reality. If we want to manifest something, we must assume the feeling of already having what we desire. The law of assumption is about practicing the ability to assume that we already have what we cannot see in the physical world. Even the definition of the word assumption means a thing that is accepted as true or as certain to happen without proof. But how do we assume something that we cannot see? Well, there are two worlds: the inner world of cause, also known as your imagination, and the outer world of effect, also known as the physical world or your physical reality. Your inner world or your imagination creates your reality. Our inner world or imagination is the cause, just like how there's a root of a tree hidden from sight within our mind. Just like how the cause of the physical world is hidden from sight, without the root, there is no tree. Our physical reality is the effect from our imagination. It is like the tree, visible to the eye. Anything that exists in our physical reality is a direct result from our imagination. Our physical reality only exists as a result of our imagination. It has no power on its own. Unfortunately, when it comes to changing reality, most people are striving to change reality by taking action in the outer world, which is only the effect or consequence of imagination. What they don't realize is that changing reality this way is not very effective because it's like pulling a weed, leaving its roots behind to regrow. In order to change the effect or the consequence effectively, we need to influence the root cause, which is going within our imagination. The only way to change anything effectively is to go to the root cause and change the underlying assumption to create a change in our physical reality. We must first rearrange our perception and how we feel towards it within our mind to give rise to a change in the outside world. So, again, everything that you see in your outer world was created first in imagination. Your outer world is essentially a projection of all of your assumptions, mental concepts, and beliefs that you hold in your subconscious mind. For example, if you have an assumption that pit bull dogs are vicious, then you'll always run into pit bull dogs that are vicious. If you have an assumption that life is hard, you will always run into experiences where life is hard. If you have an assumption that you always seem to win at your favorite slot machine at your nearest casino, then you'll always run into experiences where you win at that particular slot machine. Your assumptions are like scripts that you hand out to people, places, and things, and they play out these parts in your world. Life is essentially a mirror showing you what you are entertaining within your mind. Your inner world pushes out how you feel, how you think, what you think and feel about yourself, what you think and feel about other people, things, and the world at large onto your outer world, your physical reality. If you want to change your life, you must first change yourself via revising your assumptions and perceptions and fulfill yourself from within to change your world. For example, if you were to stand in front of a mirror and you saw yourself wearing a green dress, would you get mad at the mirror for showing you a green dress when you wanted to see a red dress instead? No, because that's ridiculous, right? You would just put on a red dress to see yourself in the mirror wearing a red dress. And life works exactly the same way. The physical world would not exist without the world of imagination. I'm sure you've heard of this quote: everything you need is already within you. Ultimately, this means whatever you want to manifest in your life, all you need to do is go within imagination, conjure up what it would feel like to be this person, and fulfill yourself from within. For instance, If we want to manifest a dream relationships, we want to think and feel like the person who's already in that relationship. To do this, we need to ask ourselves, what would we be if we had our desire? What thoughts and feelings would this new version of ourselves have? How would we feel like to be in a healthy, loving relationship? How would we feel like to have a loving partner? Once we identify this, we can practice new thoughts, new feelings, visualizations, and inner conversations of the person who has it in our inner world. So this can be refracted out into the outer world. It's important to recognize here that we don't manifest what we want. We manifest what we are and the assumptions and mental concepts that we hold within us. If you are in a state of mind of wanting, waiting, or lack, life will just mirror back to you more wanting, waiting, or lack. If you want to choose a new reality for yourself, the first step is to first observe the way you currently think about things, your behavior, actions, and unconscious patterns to see how it differs from the version of you who would already have what you want to manifest. This is called changing your self concept, which I'll discuss in detail in my next video. But essentially, we want to train ourselves within our inner world to think and feel what it would be like to already have what we want to manifest for it to be refracted out into our outer world. By changing our state of being, changing who we are, and changing what we assume to be true, we manifest a matching reality based on who we are in our inner world. Once we have created what we want in our imagination, it already exists as a possibility to be obtained. The law of assumption promises that what we hold within our minds will harden into fact in the outer world. We must persist in the assumption that we already have what we want, for the sheer fact that because we can see it in imagination, this means it exists in the quantum world, the world of possibilities. So long as we persist, it will harden into the physical world. There are three simple steps involved in manifesting using the law of assumption that will help you achieve your goals. The first step is to define your objective clearly. The first and most crucial step in the manifestation process is to know exactly what you want. Be clear on your goals and desires. This clarity helps you to remain focused and unwavering in your pursuit of your desires. For example, you could desire money, a fulfilling relationship, a dream relationship, a dream vacation, or physical changes to your body. Number two is to construct an event. The second step involves creating a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desires. It should be an event that you believe you would encounter after the manifestation has taken place. The scene should have an action that dominates, which means that you should be doing something in the scene. This helps to make the event more believable to you. For instance, if your desire is to manifest a vacation in the Bahamas, you would imagine yourself on the beach. Next, you want to shut off your senses to the outside world, placing your attention inwardly. You then imagine yourself performing the action or encountering the event that you created. You want to be in the scene, perform the action as if it were happening right now. This involves feeling that you were performing the action and not just watching it happen. You want to be inside the scene. So if you were in the Bahamas, you would be on the beach, feeling the sun on your skin, hear the waves of the ocean, and feel the sand beneath your skin and feet with sensory vividness. The final step is persisting in your assumption until it becomes your reality. This conviction is what brings it to life. Persisting in our new story means that we're living from the inside out. The main premise of this is that we should focus on our inner world, our thoughts and feelings, instead of relying on the external world to dictate our state of being. When we live from the outside in, we tend to use our physical environment to determine our mood And that can be chaotic because we have no control over our state of mind this way. However, something remarkable happens when we begin to live from the inside out. We realize that imagination creates reality, and we start to deliberately choose our state of being and state of mind. We intentionally dwell in the states we want to be in, and as we do that, we create our ideal circumstances in the physical world. In other words, we create our own reality. Living from the inside out is all about understanding that the physical world is just responding to us. It's always responding to our state. But we don't actually realize that when we're living from the outside in. When we live from the inside out, we choose the state we want to be in, and our physical world responds accordingly. When we live from the inside out, we experience a freedom. We know that we can choose which state we want to be in, and by doing so, we can create our ideal circumstances and dreams in our physical world. Now, I know that it can be challenging to believe this when you look out and don't see any evidence of your desires, but if you continue to persist in choosing your state and dwell in it, your physical world will respond to you. It literally has to rearrange itself to support your new state. This is the law. This is a hermetic principle called as within, as without. So, how can you start living from the inside out? Take some time each day to shut out the physical world around you and connect with your imagination. Imagine a scene of what it feels like to be the version of you who already has everything you want. As you practice this, your physical world will rearrange itself to match what you are and feel to have. You'll be able to match your state and create your ideal life. Living from the inside out is about remembering that you are the operant power of your life and choosing your states with intention. By doing so, you can create your ideal life in the physical world. Remember, the physical world rearranges itself to match your state. You have the power to live from the inside out and choose your ideal life. So, to recap, whatever you assume to be true about yourself and the world around you is ultimately going to determine the experience that you have and the people that you meet. In other words, your assumptions shape your reality. If you're not happy with your current circumstances, the way to change them is by changing your assumptions. This applies to all aspects of your life, from relationships to money and finances, even your own personal development. The law of assumption states that you are the operant power in your world and that whatever experiences you have are going to be based on the assumptions that you carry. So, how do you change assumptions? The answer lies in your own imagination. According to Neville Goddard, a well known teacher of the law of assumption, your imagination is the creative power that you hold. It is through your imagination that you can ultimately change the beliefs and assumptions that you carry. Your imagination gives you the power to save yourself from any circumstance that you find yourself in. Your imagination is limitless, and it's through feeling that version of you that has the thing that you desire that you can move into that new reality. Your dwelling dominant state of consciousness is determined by the attitude of mind that you most constantly return to. If you find yourself constantly going back to the place of being poor, unloved, or not good enough, then that is your dominant state of consciousness. And we want to move out of that state through self concept. It's important to note that the law of assumption is not the same as the law of attraction. While there are similarities, the biggest difference lies in the fact that in the law of assumption, you are the operant power. The universe does not decide for you because you actually are the universe, and there are no restrictions except for the ones you put yourself in. To start manifesting the life you desire, begin by changing your assumptions. Use the power of your imagination to feel the wish fulfilled and move into that new reality. Remember, everything already exists as a possibility, and through the power of your own wonderful human imagination, you can turn that possibility into an objective reality. At the end of the day, the law of assumption teaches us that we have the power to create our own reality. The circumstances, people, and experience we encounter are all based on the assumptions that we carry. By changing these assumptions, we can effectively move into the place that we desire to be in. So why not start today? Exercise the power of your imagination, and you can manifest the life of your dreams. Thank you so much for watching. I loved being here with you today, and I'll see you guys again soon. Lots of love.